Welcome to the Marketing Revolution podcast. This is the underground movement of savage marketers from all over the world. We are not Fortune 500 companies. We are real entrepreneurs with real businesses that have one major thing in mind: to set goals and devour them daily. Because we understand that everyone wants to eat, but only savage marketers are willing to do the hunt. Now let's get this revolution started. What's up, everybody? John Hiley here with the Marketing Revolution podcast and the Marketing Savage Facebook group, coming to you today with a motherfucking savage Sunday sermon. I want to talk about a quote which came from Mahatma Gandhi. Pretty sure I pronounced that correctly. It is, "Be the change that you seek in the world." So Gandhi had said something. There's a debate about that, by the way, that was taken out of context. But in essence, that's exactly what he said. Be the change that you seek in the world. You know, when I first heard that quote, it made a lot of sense to me because I spent my entire life from the moment that people told me when I was a kid that I was never going to amount to nothing. I would always look at them and say, "What the fuck do you know about me?" See, personally, I've always been a dreamer. Me and my wife were on a walk earlier today, and we were talking about this. I've always been a dreamer. Ever since I was a kid, when I had nothing, I always dreamed of big things. All the way from the time that I thought that I was going to be the biggest real estate agent on planet Earth, to owning, an automotive company that ended up being the biggest and baddest company in my area. But it took me, 10 years to get it to that level. But it all started with a simple dream, and it all started with me being the change that I was seeking in the world. One of my biggest drivers was when I dropped out of high school. The superintendent, a guy by the name of Jerry Clark, told me that I was never going to amount to nothing. That this was it. That I dropped out of high school, and that this was my defining moment in my life. That was going to determine the rest of my life. So in a sense, he was putting a death sentence on my ability to overcome this obstacle, this thing that I was going through. And there was no way I was going to graduate high school anyway. It didn't matter if I dropped out or if I stayed until I was like 30 years old, became like a Van Wilder, a fucking high school or something like that. It didn't matter, at that point. But that drove me every day because, I seen something in the system, inside of the school system. I seen something there. I think back then I really couldn't articulate it, or I didn't understand it as well as I do today. But I seen that it wasn't for me, right? And I wanted to be that change, to defy the odds, to let people know that this thing that they created was not as fucking important as they thought it was to me. And I wanted to defy them odds so I could teach the world, so I could show the world that these people do not have the power over your life. Their words do not have power over your life. Their piece of paper that they give you do not have power over your life. So my entire life was being the change that I wanted to see in the world. And I'm continuing that with education, the type of education that I want to see in the world. The type of education that speaks to kids that were like me. Kids that couldn't understand why I was learning some bullshit that I wasn't going to apply later in the future. That's debatable. It's very debatable, and each and every individual is different. Every individual is different. And, I'm just going to let you guys know that I'm certainly proud of my son for graduating high school. So by any means, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be proud of your kids, or it's a bad thing to have high school. What I'm saying is there was a disconnect for me. So I came and I decided to be that change for people that were like me, that are like me. And I continue to do that. So I want you guys to think about this. Each and every day, like what bothers you, right? Do you got friends that gossip? Do you got friends that like to talk about other people? Are you associating yourself with people that are negative? Because it starts with you being the change. It starts with you setting the boundaries. Are you participating in that shit? It starts with you not participating in that shit. Change is hard. Change is hard because when you change, when you grow, it's going to be disruptive to everybody around you. Everybody in your life is going to be disrupted. But you know what I say? It's like Michael Jordan, right? It's like Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never came down to other people's fucking level. He never did. He continued to rise higher, but he made you rise to his fucking level. See, that's being a positive change right there. Having a negative change is where you keep sliding back. When you up your life, when you step your life up, when you start going to that next level, but you keep sliding back because you keep sliding down to the same shit that you're trying to get away from. You got people that gossip in your life about other people. You start doing it again. You start getting addicted to that poison, to that habit, to that life. Fuck that. Make them come up to your level or move the fuck on. Michael Jordan, he would pass the ball once or twice to somebody, and if they didn't do what they needed to do, he'd take the game. You had to step up to his level. I can really appreciate that. You had to step up to his level. In fact, there's a story about Michael Jordan when he was in practice after having pretty much playing the whole game the night before. He's beat up, he's tore up. The next day, he's out there, he's in practice, and he looks around the court, and there's a bench player that's not in there. And he asked what was going on. Where's this guy? And they said, well, he had, he's in the back. He's getting ice on his hip or something like that. Jordan literally went to the back into the medical area, the physical therapy area, found the dude sitting on a table getting iced up, flipped the table over with the guy on him, and looked at him and said, look, I'm beat to shit. I played an entire game. You need to get your fucking ass out on that court. That's bringing people up to your level. That's the thing with change, guys. When you become the change that you seek in the world, there's going to be people around you that are going to try to pull you back down into whatever it is that you're leveling up from. So whatever it is that you're leveling up from, there are going to be people that are going to try to pull you back down. Make them come up to your level. Okay? So how do you change things in a positive way? That's how you do it. You change. You let them see it. You shine your light on these motherfuckers. And when they see that light and they're blinded by it, they want to put that light out. They want to take you back to where you once was. What do? Fuck that. You make them come up and step up to your level. It's time for each and every one of y'all to level up, man. Each and every one of you listening to this podcast need to level the fuck up. And I want to give you the permission on this savage motherfucking Sunday sermon to do just that. It's time to level up, y'all. Appreciate all of you fucking savages out there. As usual, I'm going to see you on that next one.